Most beginners think that cooking their own meals at home means that they can never eat out ever again. Well, today I'm here to tell you that that's not true at all. The problem isn't the fact that you're eating out, it's the all or nothing mentality that's keeping people stuck. Let's be real for a second. If you're someone who's just learning how to cook, you're not going to like every meal you make. So you're gonna need to buy takeout or go to your favorite restaurants from time to time because, like I said, not everything you cook is gonna turn out to be good. It's gonna turn out to be delicious. So you're gonna need that backup when you can't eat what you make. But also, when you're just learning how to cook, you don't want to put so much pressure on yourself that it leads to you giving up before you even build confidence in the kitchen. When you're first starting to learn how to cook, don't tell yourself that you're going to cook every day, especially if you're someone who has a busy schedule, a busy life. It's not going to happen. So don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself because it's not sustainable. Okay? So it's really important that you normalize the fact that sometimes you're gonna need to eat out, and that's okay. And even if you're someone who's been cooking for a few months, a few years, sometimes life happens. You're not always going to have the time to cook. You're not always going to have the time to make elaborate meals. In addition to that, you have favorite things from different places. Why would you have to give that up? Being able to cook your own meals doesn't mean you have to limit yourself to the meals that you know how to make. It's totally okay to want to eat something that you didn't cook yourself. Even though I meal prep on a weekly basis, I still go to my favorite places to get the things I like. The thing is that I don't do it as often as I used to when I didn't know how to cook my own meals. For example, a few years ago, I was ordering food 3 times a day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now it's more like I have breakfast, I have dinner at home. If I want to go out for lunch, I go out for lunch. Just because I can make my own lunch doesn't mean I can never go to a restaurant to eat lunch. No, who said that? With all that said, the first thing I want you to do is to normalize the fact that sometimes you're going to eat out. Life gets busy, sometimes you just want something different, and that's totally okay. You should not feel guilty about wanting to eat something that you didn't cook yourself. And again, especially when you're first starting with your cooking journey, you need to see eating out as a tool, not your enemy. Both can exist in your life because it's not about perfection, it's about consistency, it's about doing something that's sustainable in the long run. The two most common reasons why people feel guilty after eating out is one, financial, two, health related. In order for you to stop feeling guilty every time you eat out, you need a system that works. And I'm going to give you 2 tips that I use myself that I think will really help you out. For the first one, the way to handle that is to allocate a portion of your budget specifically for eating out. You set up a number for the month and you tell yourself, okay, I have X amount of money to spend on eating out for the month. That way, you don't feel guilty when you go spend money on eating out because it's already in your budget. You already planned for it. You're not taking away from other bills or other expenses to do that. And if you don't use that money or you still have some left over at the end of the month, you can either put that towards something else, add it to the next month. You can do whatever you want with that leftover money if you have leftover money. If you allocate an amount to eating out every single month, even if it's a small amount, set it anyway. And if you don't end up using it, like I said, put it towards something else, save it, use it next month, whatever you want. But if you want to stop feeling guilty about eating out because of financial reason, you need to budget for it. That's the only way you're going to be able to stop feeling guilty about it. Because if you're taking money away from other things just to go eat out, that guilt is not going away. Mm-mm. The other reason I mentioned is a health related reason. What do I mean by that? Most of the times when we eat out, we don't always stick to our diet. We don't always eat the healthiest things. Some people do it. Kudos to you. But I know that my favorite food from different places, it's not always it's not the healthiest thing. Sometimes what happens is that you go eat out and you eat something that you don't usually eat or that you shouldn't eat, and then later on you feel really bad about it. The way I've been able to combat that is by making a list of my favorite places to get food at and knowing exactly what to order from those places. Every time I go get takeout or like fast food or I go to my favorite restaurant, I 90% of the time order the same thing. Some of these places I'm pretty sure the employees know my order by now. It's like, why is this girl always ordering the same thing every time she comes in? Um, that's why. It's because I know exactly what aligns with my health goals, so I stick to the same thing. Not to say that I never try anything else, because obviously, you have to enjoy life. Sometimes you're going to try something new. But in order for me to not feel guilty about it and to stay on track with my health goals, it really helps me to know exactly what I'm going to order from these places, because I know, okay, I can eat this and it's not gonna completely throw off my diet. So, what I recommend is, even if you don't sit down and make an actual list, but at least try looking at the menu and deciding what you're going to get before you even make it there. That's going to reduce decision fatigue. That's going to help your brain feel more at ease with the idea, because you know exactly what you're going to get. You know exactly what you're going to get. Why am I losing my voice? You know exactly what you're gonna get. You know whether it's healthy or not. And obviously, sometimes we're gonna indulge, and that's okay. Like I said at the beginning of the video, life happens. We're not always gonna be thriving. Sometimes we're gonna be in survival mode. So if you go out and eat something that you weren't supposed to eat, try to talk to yourself and like remind yourself that it's okay, it happens. As long as you don't let it become a habit, because then that's gonna throw off your diet, your routine. It's totally fine. If you're a student, sometimes school gets busier. If you're working, if you have a family to take care of, like adult life has. Listen, adult life sometimes it just slaps you around. It doesn't care. You just get slapped around and you still have to show up for your responsibilities. Yes, the system's going to help you in terms of preparing, but sometimes it's not going to go the way you think. Sometimes other reasons are going to come up as to why you feel guilty about eating out, and you need to learn how to be kind to yourself and how to talk to yourself in a way that's going to help you get out of that mindset of feeling guilty. Again, set realistic goals. If you can meal prep breakfast and dinner, it's completely okay to eat out for lunch. If you can eat at home 4 times during the week, the other three, especially if you're just getting started with your cooking journey, it's totally okay to eat out during the other 3 days. Do what works for you. Look at your schedule, look at your budget, look at your health goals, and decide based off of that. It's going to be different for everybody. I can't tell you exactly what to do. I can only tell you what I do, but I trust that you'll be able to figure that out. So I'm going to encourage you to take some time and think about what we just talked about today and try to come up with a plan that's going to help you, because I don't want you feeling guilty about eating out, especially if you're just learning how to cook. That's kind of discouraging to think that you have to give up on your favorite foods just because you're cooking at home. If you want to just eat at home for whatever reason, that's up to you. I'm talking to the people that feel guilty for eating out just because they know how to cook their own meals or just because they're learning how to cook. Remember, you want to build something that's sustainable long term. You don't want to dread it. You don't want to feel bad about it. You want it to be an enjoyable experience. And life is about balance. It's up to you to decide what that balance is going to look like. If you want to do 50% eating out, 50% eating at home, 70% eating at home, 30% eating out, the choice is yours. All I want you to remember is that you can absolutely do both. If this video was helpful, I recommend you watch this video next. It's about the 5 biggest lies that scare people away from home cooking. All right, I'll see you there. Bye for now.